Men, before you text her back, before you accept her apology, before you convince yourself this time will be different, a stop. You're about to make a decision that could either reclaim your power or surrender it forever. Tonight, we're entering the forbidden realm where psychology meets strategies, where Machiavelli's centuries-old wisdom collides with modern relationship dynamics. The problem we're solving isn't just about her, it's about the war happening inside your own mind. Are you ready to discover why most men fail at second chances, and more importantly, how the few who succeed think completely differently? Men often believe that forgiveness is a noble act, that giving a woman a second chance is a sign of maturity and moral strength. But Niccolò Machiavelli would have called this sentiment a dangerous illusion, a weakness dressed in the robes of virtue. For in the realm of power, whether between rulers or lovers, mercy given too early becomes a weapon against the giver himself. Machiavelli understood the nature of people, that when someone knows they can hurt you and still be welcomed back, they will never truly fear losing you. And when fear is gone, respect soon follows. So, when a man forgives too easily, when he offers his heart again without demand or discipline, he believes he is healing the bond. But in truth, he is giving up command over it. Consider how Machiavelli advised princes. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Why? Because fear ensures order, while love, without boundaries, invites rebellion. In the same way, a man who loves without strength teaches his partner that his forgiveness is guaranteed, his standards negotiable, and his pain easily overlooked. What begins as compassion quickly turns into captivity. When a woman walks away, disrespects you, or betrays your trust, you stand at a crossroads between emotion and reason. Emotion whispers to you, "She's sorry, give her another chance." But reason, the voice of Machiavelli, asks instead, what has changed in the balance of power? For love, like politics, operates on power. The power to influence, to command respect, to define the terms of loyalty. A ruler who pardons rebels before restoring his authority invites more rebellion. Likewise, a man who forgives betrayal without first rebuilding his dignity invites another wound. Machiavelli would say that mercy, when offered from weakness, is not virtue, it is submission. A man must first become the stronger force again before extending grace. Otherwise, his mercy is seen not as kindness, but as permission. And this is where many men fall. They confuse emotion with wisdom. They mistake longing for love, guilt for change, and comfort for stability. But Machiavelli reminds us, human beings, especially in matters of the heart, act not from morality, but from interest. If she left you once, it was because her interest changed. If she returns, it is because her interest shifts again. Your task is not to trust her words, but to question the motives that brought her back. The great trap is believing that love will repair what power could not protect. That somehow, through understanding and patience, respect will grow again. But in truth, respect once lost must be reclaimed, not requested. Machiavelli teaches that when the balance of power is broken, mercy cannot restore it. Only strength can. And until a man learns to guard his heart with the same discipline a prince guards his throne, he will forever repeat the same tragedy, mistaking emotional surrender for moral superiority. Forgiveness is not wrong, but forgiveness offered without consequence, without judgment, without change. That is emotional weakness disguised as virtue. And in the Machiavellian sense, it is the first step toward losing command of your kingdom, the kingdom of your own heart. When a man chooses to give a woman a second chance, he often imagines he is rebuilding what was lost. But what Machiavelli would remind him is that once power is surrendered, it cannot simply be returned to the way it was. Power once broken must be rebuilt, and rebuilt on new terms. In politics, a ruler who loses control of his city does not rule the same city again when he reclaims it. The walls have changed, the people have changed, and so must he. The same is true in love. When she left, betrayed, or disrespected you, she changed the power dynamic. In that moment, she learned something dangerous. that you could be replaced, that your love could be discarded, that your worth was negotiable. So when she returns, you must understand, she is not coming back to the man she left. She is returning to test whether the man she remembers still exists. If you are the same man, soft, forgiving, eager to restore the old bond, she will see no reason to treat you differently. To her, you are familiar territory, conquered land she can walk again without fear. Machiavelli would say that after losing power, a wise ruler never governs as before. He enforces new rules, demands higher loyalty, and reestablishes fear where comfort once bred disobedience. In the same way, if a man chooses to reopen the door, he must not reopen it with the same weakness that allowed her to walk out. The relationship must no longer be a repetition of the old script. It must become a new kingdom with clearer laws. This means boundaries, firmness, detachment from emotional dependencies. Machiavelli would argue that affection without order leads to corruption. A ruler who wants to be loved before being respected will soon be neither. The same law governs relationships. If you give her a second chance, it should not be out of desperation or nostalgia, but from a position of command. You do not rebuild the old love, you build a new structure where respect is non-negotiable. Because once she has seen your vulnerabilities, once she has tested your limits, she knows exactly where the cracks are. If you return without repairing the foundation, she will simply press where the wall is weakest. And what men fail to see is that love, without hierarchy, collapses. Someone always leads. Someone always follows. The balance must be consciously restored, or chaos returns. Machiavelli would advise that after regaining power, one must act decisively, cut away what caused the fall, establish new standards, and remind others that betrayal carries a price. In love, this translates into action, not talk. Do not explain your strength. Demonstrate it. Do not ask for her respect commanded through self-discipline, consistency, and distance. If she is to stay, let her stay under new terms. If she is to love you, let her love the stronger version of you. The man who learned that rebuilding power means rewriting the rules. A second chance should never mean a return to the old order, because what was lost once through weakness will be lost again through memory. And if you let her return to the same structure, she will not see a man who learned. She will see a man who bent. Machiavelli once wrote that men in general judge more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel. What he meant was that appearances deceive, words and gestures can easily be crafted to please, but actions, true, consistent actions, reveal the heart of a person. When it comes to giving a woman a second chance, this truth becomes a test of wisdom. A man who judges by emotion will listen to her apologies, her promises, her tears. But a man who judges by Machiavellian reason will wait, observe, and measure. He will not be moved by what she says, only by what she does when she thinks he is no longer watching. When she says she has changed, when she swears she understands her mistakes, remember, every human being is fluent in self-preservation. Regret is often a performance designed to secure safety, not a confession born from transformations. Machiavelli would tell you that words are instruments of influence, not proof of loyalty. A ruler does not trust a conquered enemy because he speaks of peace. He trusts him only when his behavior under pressure confirms obedience. Likewise, a man should never believe in change until it is demonstrated through consistent, inconvenient action. Ask yourself, does she change when it benefits her or when it costs her something? Anyone can act loyal when love is being offered freely again. The real measure comes when she must prove devotion without reward, when affection is withheld, when patience is tested, when the spotlight fades. It is in those quiet, uncomfortable moments that the truth of her loyalty will reveal itself. Machiavelli's wisdom is merciless but clear. Do not trust a woman's words of love until her behavior has survived your silence. This is where most men fail. They want reassurance more than truth. They crave to hear, "I'm sorry," because it soothes the wound their pride cannot. But this comfort blinds them. They mistake the apology for evidence, the words for repentance. Yet the Machiavellian mind knows. People rarely change through guilt, they change through necessity. If she truly fears losing you, her behavior will evolve. If not, her words will merely be the soft echo of manipulation, carefully chosen to disarm your judgment. Observe her patience, not her poetry. Watch how she acts when things no longer go her way. A woman seeking redemption will act with humility, with a quiet consistency that does not demand your forgiveness but earns it. But a woman playing strategy will seek to charm her way back into comfort, using affection as a bribe, not a bridge. Machiavelli would advise a prince to reward only proven loyalty, never potential. You must do the same. Testing loyalty is not cruelty, it is prudence. In a world where emotions cloud the mind, you must become the ruler of your own judgment. To take her words as truth is to risk your power again. To test her through time, patience, and distance is to reclaim control over your destiny. For in love, as in politics, loyalty untested is loyalty uncertain, and only through actions can the truth of the heart be known. There is a great illusion that deceives many men, the belief that people change simply because they feel regret. Machiavelli would tell you that this illusion is one of the most dangerous traps in both politics and love. Regret, by itself, is not transformation. It is merely the discomfort of consequence. A woman who says she has changed after hurting you might feel remorse. Yes, but remorse fades once comfort returns. Machiavelli understood that human nature is stable, predictable, and rarely altered by emotion alone. People change only when they are forced to, when the cost of their past behavior becomes too high to repeat. When a man accepts a woman back simply because she says she has learned her lesson, he risks becoming the same weak ruler who forgives a traitor without punishment. Machiavelli would say that a prince who believes words over evidence prepares his own destruction. For when a person is not made to experience the full weight of their choices, they learn not wisdom, but impunity. She may tell you that she has changed, but if she returns to the same comfort, to the same dynamic that once allowed her to disrespect you, what real incentive does she have to behave differently? Comfort is the enemy of transformation. You must understand, people adapt only under pressure. When she faced your absence, your silence, your detachment, she experienced consequence. In that space, she may have reflected, even suffered. But the moment you let her back in, without redefining the balance of power, the pressure disappears, and so does the growth. Machiavelli teaches that necessity drives all reforms. When the necessity to change vanishes, the illusion of change takes its place. Many men are drawn to the idea of redemption. It flatters their sense of morality. They want to believe that love can heal what betrayal destroyed. But Machiavelli would call this emotional vanity, a ruler wanting to believe his mercy has power. In truth, mercy unbacked by consequence changes nothing. People often appear transformed when they fear loss, but the true test comes when that fear fades. If she is not acting from genuine respect, she will soon return to her old patterns, because human desire seeks the path of least resistance. The illusion of change also seduces because it promises closure. It tells the man, if she has changed, then my pain meant something. But pain only has meaning if it leads to wisdom. If it leads you to repeat the same cycle, it becomes just another weapon against your peace. Machiavelli would say that wisdom does not come from believing people are good. It comes from accepting that they are human, driven by self-interest, habit, and opportunity. So if you wish to test whether she has truly changed, remove the comfort, remove the reward, and watch what she does when she gains nothing from pretending. A woman's words can be poetic, her regrets sincere, her tears convincing. But sincerity is not transformation. Guilt is temporary, habit is eternal. Real change is born from structure, consequence, and necessity, the three forces that Machiavelli built his entire philosophy upon. If none of those are present, what you are seeing is not evolution, but adaptation, a temporary performance designed to regain what was lost. And when that goal is achieved, the mask falls, and the cycle begins once again. Mercy is a beautiful word. It sounds noble, almost divine. Men are taught from childhood that forgiveness is strength, that to show mercy is to rise above pain, to demonstrate moral superiority. But Niccolò Machiavelli would disagree. He would warn you that mercy, when given before control is restored, is not a sign of virtue. It is a sign of vulnerability. In both politics and love, to forgive without authority is to reward disobedience. And once you reward it, it will return. When a man is hurt by a woman, when his loyalty is betrayed, when his respect is tested, the first instinct of his heart is to seek reconciliation. He wants peace, not power. But Machiavelli understood that peace without power is a lie. It exists only until the next act of rebellion. The same applies to love. If you forgive her while you are still emotionally wounded, if you take her back before regaining control over yourself, you are not forgiving, you are surrendering. And surrender, in the eyes of the one who wronged you, is permission to repeat. In The Prince, Machiavelli wrote that cruelty, if used well, can secure order, while mercy, if used poorly, breeds chaos. Translate that to relationships. A man who is too eager to forgive creates the conditions for his own heartbreak. A woman cannot truly respect the man she does not fear losing. If you make it clear that no matter what she does, you will always take her back, you remove the very tension that keeps respect alive. Mercy only has meaning when it is backed by consequence. Before you grant forgiveness, you must rebuild your position. You must restore emotional distance, regain composure, and stand once again as the ruler of your own mind. Only then, when she sees that you no longer need her, that your peace does not depend on her returns, does your mercy carry weight. Because mercy without control is like giving away your crown while still bleeding from the wound that dethroned you. It is a gesture that feels powerful, but leaves you defenseless. A Machiavellian man does not rush to forgive. He studies, he observes, he waits. He ensures that his emotions no longer command him before he decides to extend his hand. For mercy given too soon becomes a debt she will never repay. But mercy given from strength, from a place of control, becomes a calculated act of power. It reminds her that your forgiveness is not an obligation. It is a choice, and choices made from power create loyalty far deeper than those made from weakness. The truth few men accept is that forgiveness is not the first step toward healing. It is the final step, taken only after the order of respect has been restored. If she sees that you can live without her, that you can walk away, rebuild, and remain composed, your forgiveness becomes a symbol of discipline, not dependency. Machiavelli would say that a wise ruler forgives only after his authority is unquestioned, because mercy given before control turns into indulgence, and indulgence breeds contempt. So before giving her a second chance, ask yourself, have you reclaimed your strength, your standards, your sense of command? If not, then forgiveness is premature. Mercy must come after the throne has been secured, never while the crown is still shaking. Because until you rule your emotions, every act of mercy you offer will belong not to the king in you, but to the servant. In the end, Machiavelli would tell every man this: love is not separate from power. It follows the same laws that govern empires, nations, and human nature itself. You cannot lead where you have lost control. You cannot inspire loyalty where you have surrendered authority. And you cannot rebuild respect where you have traded strength for comfort. Before giving her a second chance, remember what the Florentine master understood: mercy without strength invites betrayal, forgiveness without consequence invites repetition, and emotion without reason invites ruin. You are not commanded to be cruel, only to be wise. If she is to return, let it be to a man reborn, not the one she left, but the one who learned. Love, when guided by power and discipline, can become something unbreakable. But when ruled by weakness, it devours itself. Machiavelli would remind you that every ruler, every lover, and every man must learn this: respect is not granted by words, nor restored by tears. It is earned through fear, preserved through boundaries, and strengthened through self-control. So before you forgive, rebuild. Before you open the door, stand tall again. And before you give her a second chance, make sure she's returning not to your heart, but to your throne.